Hello students, we're going to start with a new topic animal tissues and here we'll be learning about the epithelial tissue. We all humans look different, maybe because of the complexion or the kind of skin we have. We are complex, isn't it? Although we humans are very complex creatures, we are made up of only four different types of tissues: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. Epithelial tissue, they're broadly classified as squamous, cuboidal, and columnar. Connective tissue is divided into connective tissue proper, fluid connective tissue, compact or supportive connective tissue. Connective tissue proper is divided into loose and fibrous, which is again classified as adipose, areolar, tendon, and ligament. Fluid connective tissue, they are divided into blood and lymph. In compact supportive tissue, we'll have to learn about bones and cartilage. Muscular tissues are classified as striated, unstriated, and cardiac. In nervous tissue, we don't have to learn about Schwann cells, only we have to learn about the neurons. So first we will start with the epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue is present everywhere, outside as well as inside the body. We know that epithelium covers the body surface. So if we observe a human body, what do we see? Yes, we see the epithelial tissue. The internal body organs, for example, your lungs, kidney, intestine, and stomach, all are covered by epithelium. And yes, the lining of the cavity is also covered by the epithelium. Now you might be wondering what could be the function of epithelium? Yes, it's protection. Epithelium acts as a protective layer. So, should it have intercellular spaces? Of course not. If intercellular spaces are present, they would be like holes in the protective covering, which will make the covering unreliable for further protection. That is why epithelial tissue is tightly packed. But protection is not the only function. Epithelium helps in protection, absorption, secretion, sensation. So there must be some difference in structure of epithelium to perform different functions. Based on the shapes and the function, epithelium is of three types: squamous, cuboidal, and columnar. Here the word squamous is derived from the Latin word squama, which means scale. Not this scale, but this scale, which is present on the body of the fish. So does this picture resembles the real picture of the squamous epithelium? Yes, it does. Second one is the cuboidal epithelium. Cuboidal epithelium is made up of cube-like cells. So these cube-like cells, they appear like cuboid. Almost length and the width is almost same from all the sides. The next one is the columnar epithelium. Columnar epithelium appears like long column like cells. Right? So now these were the three basic types of epithelial cells: squamous, cuboidal, and columnar. Now we are going to learn about some specialized epithelial tissue cells. The first one is ciliated epithelium, next is glandular epithelium, and the third one is a sensory epithelium. Now one by one we'll be learning about each one of them. The first one is the ciliated epithelium. So when a cell, it can be columnar, it can be cuboidal. So if any of the cells, they have finger-like or hair-like projections on their surface, such a cell is called a ciliated epithelial cell. The role of ciliated epithelial cell is that it helps in to and fro movement of the substances. So when we inhale the gas, when we inhale the air, what happens? Along with the air, dust particles may also enter our respiratory tract. So these cilia, they do to and fro movements and does not allow the dust to enter. So these ciliated epithelium, they are present in your trachea. The functioning of the ciliated epithelium is just like the oars of the boat. Have you seen the oars of the boat? Why are they used for? They are used so that the boat moves forward, right? So they help in the movement. So similarly, the ciliated epithelium also does the same function. They help in the movement of the substances. right? Now second one is the glandular epithelium. Glandular epithelium. This type of epithelium, sometimes the epithelial tissues folds themselves and forms the glands called glandular epithelium. These glands are present in your organs like stomach, right? These glands present in the epithelium produces secretions such as mucus in the stomach. Mucus is a sticky secretion in the stomach, or oil or sebum in the skin, or tear in the eyes. Now last but not the least, sensory epithelium. It helps to perceive the sensation, like it can be any hot object, it can be good smell, it can be music or any noise, it can be good food or the taste of the food, it can be when you see some objects, right? So all these sensations, how do we perceive? With the help of the sensory epithelium. So these sensory epithelium or the sensory cells, they tell us about the environment as they are in contact to the neurons, the messengers. And what is neuron? That we will study in the nervous system. In short, the neurons are the messengers that carries the information from your skin to the brain. So that was all about the epithelial tissue. Now in the next part, we'll be learning about the connective tissue.